So the pop art piece is coming together very nicely. You've obviously got a handle on how to colour and how to select, how to organise your layers. I thought I would use some of those tools and maybe some other ones to show you some other possibilities. You can change the colours of your characters and your pieces at any time. So what I might do is go to my repetition and duplicate it. Now I'm going to double click on that layer and it brings up these options for a color overlay. This will change all the color on that layer. So I'll select color overlay, make sure that that layer is selected, and at the moment it is overlaying black, as you can see. So I want to overlay with a different color. So I'll just double click on the color and I need to check a different possibility. I want a bright color, so let's go with that, and I'll make it slightly pinky purplish maybe. Alright, yeah, that pink looks good. Hit OK and OK, and as you can see I can have different versions of the same file, and so this could make it very busy, but it also is a quick way to actually recolor areas. So there's one variation that you can do. Another variation you might have seen on my example before was I had some shadows on my character. So firstly I want to use my wand W and select those purple areas. Now I may not want to have my shadows appearing on that layer, so I can make a new layer, can double click and call it shadows, and I want to get a different color, so I might get this dark blue, and I'm going to use a brush for the first time. So brush is over here on the left, and the brush options for different sorts of brushes, here's a hard edge round brush, hard edge brush which will vary the thickness. So I'm going to use this soft edge brush, so either of these two will do, and this is the brush size, and as you can see this is a good size at the moment, but if I make it smaller I can see how that appears. So I'll go up around that same size, and as I'm painting with that dark blue I can do like a shadow on here just to help Felix pop out a bit more. I'm just using the right hand side and underneath on my character. If I wanted to do selections of just part of Felix, that's quite possible if I change the contiguous settings. Not the easiest word to say all the time. That makes his mouth have a bit more depth, a bit of shadow there. Whoop, too much on the nose, a little bit less there. Okay, and I can do shadow on that side, but I don't want shadow here, so I'm going to use the eraser and just clean up that bit. So it looks like a bit of fun. Control deselect. Underneath I might try and do some variation on my repeated Felixes. So I'm going to use my eraser, and I've got two versions of my Felix, so if I remove some I can see the blue version underneath. So I'm just doing stripes. Let's make my brush smaller for my eraser, and I can do smaller stripes, which is quite a bit of fun. I could do polka dots, so just some random dots. Let's do lines like that. So as you can see, it's up to you the sort of pattern and texture that you might want to apply. And another thing that was on the example were some shapes, so I'll just show you how to use those. So above my background color, but in front or underneath my repetition, I'm going to create a new layer. Up here is our selection tool, so if I hold down I can see I can make a rectangle and I can make an ellipse. So how about I make circles? I'm holding down shift because I don't want my circle to be distorted like a football. I want an actual circle shape. So I'm going to do that, and how about we make, we've got different pinks, a pale pink. You can see I love choosing colours. Okay, so let's go with this purpley colour. I'm going to drop a colour in there. Oh, this looks terrible. So let's do a few more dots and then I'll be able to fix it. G to paint that in, and go back and do a large circle here, holding shift and G. Well, the simple fact is that we don't always make the best choices about colours all the time, and I definitely haven't. M is the keyboard shortcut for that marquee or selection tool. I'll do a big circle here and a smaller circle over here. You'll see what I'm trying to do in a second. Okay, that looks kind of fun. Control D to deselect. Now, I'm not happy about that colour. As you remember, we can double click here and do a colour overlay, and then we can actually choose a colour that we're happier with. It went back to the pink that I used before, so I'm going to go in and edit that. I might want, oh that's nice, a paler blue. You can try different variations. Some are obviously not helping my picture and others will blend a bit better. So yep, I'll work with a pale blue just so there's a bit of fun and variety in the background. Hit OK and OK there. Now I think I'm happy to leave it here. We've done selections, we've looked at different layer options and colouring layers and rearranging those backgrounds and playing with pattern options, and so there's lots of variations that you can do. If you want, you can actually do a highlight as well as a shadow. So the last thing I need to do is Control S and save my Photoshop file, and then I'm going to go File, Save As, and this time I want to save a copy. So let's go down here and choose JPEG, and you can see some practices up there. This is called Pop Art with your name attached as part of the file, and we hit save. Under the options here, at 12 you can see it's 1.9 megabytes. It's going to be about half as big at 10, but still quite sharp. So I'm going to hit OK and save that copy. So as you can see, we've had a bit of fun and we've been able to create a pop art character. Try the different tools in different variations and orders, and I'm sure you'll come up with a really unique design. Thanks for watching.